Hello and welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to be showing how I do these crystal type blades which I've done on my Lumineth Realm Lords. So it's very quick and easy, a little bit of blending, a little bit of glazing, but relatively simple. And the colours you're going to need is you're going to need Temple Guard Blue, Screamer Skull, some Sotek Green, you're going to need some Abaddon Black, some White Scar, and some Eltharion Grey, and obviously a little sword. So there's a little sword, one of my little spare swords that I've got from the Lumineth. And first things first, what you need to do is you need to make a base of Temple Guard Blue and a little bit of Screamer Skull, not too much. So you want it to be like 60-40. And just mix it in, add a little bit of water. And here we go. So just cover the blade. I'm only going to do the blade, I'm not going to do anything else. Like so. So you already get that sort of crystal-like colour. So you want to leave that to dry for a couple of minutes and then do the others. I'll just do the back while I wait for the front to dry. And as this is drying, I'll use that opportunity to ask everyone who hasn't subscribed to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring that bell, because we're very close of hitting 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And when I do so, that will unlock a couple of the community features for the channel to allow me to start doing the community side of things, which is really, really cool. And obviously that would be awesome. And if you haven't, also ring the bell so you get notified for any of the future videos. So let's just let that dry. And what we're going to do is we're going to start adding in the shadows. So the shadows, what you want to need is some Sotek Green. You want to thin it quite far down so it's almost wash consistency. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to sort of pencil in or sketch in roughly where we want the shadows to be. So what I want them to be is essentially a shadow here, and then a shadow here, and then a shadow here. So with a little bit of Sotek Green, just very carefully on one side of the blade, and then pulling that in there like so, and then down here. Just always remember to move the brush in the direction that you want it to go to. Just allow that to dry, and then we'll add another layer. Just be very careful. It's still quite wet. And then just add another layer. Like so. So we've got roughly where we're going to do. So I'm going to get this dry completely properly, and then we'll start moving into the highlights. Okay, that's completely dry now. So what you want to do is, with your original base coat, you just want to get a little bit. When I say a little bit, you're talking like a little drop at the end of the brush, and mix that into your base coat of Eltharion Grey into your base coat. And then keeping it nice and thin, you basically want to just pull that along the tops, like so. You see, don't worry too much about this area here, because we can tidy that up very shortly. And again, just pulling it into the middle bit here. All right, then add a little bit more of one. And again, very carefully pulling it to the top of the blade. If you get that, oops, just knocked my camera. If you get that, just pull it, just feather it out along the edges. Just allow that to dry. So while that's drying, what you can do is get some more of your shadow colour and just strengthen the shadow areas. Like so. Just furthering it out. Like so. Okay. And then getting a little bit more offline grey and adding it to your mix. So it should almost be pure ulthuan grey. Move this highlight more to the top. So I'm just going to allow this to dry a little bit better, and then we'll be right back where we're going to strengthen the shadows. Okay, so now this is dry. What we're going to do now is just add a little bit of black into your Sotek green, just to darken it down a little bit. And then very carefully, I'm going to take and just run that nice thin layer into the area that we want the deepest. And in this part here, just want to do that like so. You're already starting to get a pretty cool effect with the blade. Yeah. So again, just a very thin layer along the top, like so. Like this. Okay, and then getting some more Ulthuan grey into your base mix, and if you need to, add a little bit of medium or water just to keep it nice and thin. You want to just get that like so, just pulling the pigment to the center. Right, and then now you should be using almost pure Ulthuan grey. It's probably about 90%, and then about 8-10% of your base coat. Really just want this right to the top. Like so. And then like that. I mean, if you're a little bit worried that the transition is a little bit uneven in the center, what you can do is just get a glaze of your base coat and just carefully go over it like so, just to smooth it out. All right, then get some more black, add that to your Sotek green, and then push the shadowed areas to the max. I mean, if you really want to, you can get some pure Chaos Black. Chaos Black, or Baden Black. Wow, I've not used Chaos Black for years. Very carefully. Just push that like that. So I'm just going to let that dry. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move into the first highlight. So I'll be right back. Okay, now that the blade is dry, what we're going to do is we're going to add a first highlight. So you want to get some Ulthuan Grey, pure Ulthuan Grey, thin it down, and then we're going to apply an edge highlight. Now you need to be very careful here, and don't have too much on your brush. Okay, and then very carefully, what I do is angle the brush to about 45 degrees and then carefully just run the blade down the side of the brush. And then do the same for this side. Now here, just be very careful. And of course I'm using my size 1 Rosemarine Core Series 33. So the middle part of the brush, the middle part of the sword, you've got that nice line. So what you want to do is try to hold it flat and just carefully just run the paintbrush down the center of the sword, very carefully picking that line. So while that's drying quickly, I'm just going to leave that here. What we want to do now is we want to make a glaze, and this is going to give it that sort of crystally greeny bluey look. So what I've got is got some Phalanx yellow and some Moot green, and then I mix that in with some Temple Guard blue. And basically you're going to get a glaze that looks a bit like this sort of shade. All right, so it's a bit of a sort of a limey green. Now you could add a little bit more yellow into it to get the color that you want, but you just want get all the excess paint off my brush, because I don't want too much paint on this. I just want the brush to be damp. Okay, now very carefully take your glaze, starting from the bottom, and glaze over the blade, pulling the blade away. And you can instantly see how you get that sort of crystally greeny tint. Now this is an ultra thin layer of paint, so it'll dry in a couple of seconds, and then you can apply another one. All right. Now just to dry, and again, nice and carefully apply. I'm only going to do 2, because if I do any more, it's really going to strengthen that highlight, and it's going to turn it more greeny colour. But what I'm going to do is, just to get the highlight back, I'm going to get some of my highlight colour, and I'm going to carefully just bring it to the tip of the sword and to the base and just in the center here. Okay. So there you go. Now you've got that sort of crystally type sword effect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get some skull white or some white scar. See, I was reading an old article with some of the old paint colours into it, like blood red and bestial fur. Showing my age now. So we're going to get some white scar, and again, just add a little bit of medium. You want it nice and thin. Just want to run that down the edge of the blade. Okay, and this side as well. Okay, and then very carefully, just like before, running it straight down the middle of the blade. Like so. Okay, now what you can do is get your brush and then very, very carefully just draw a couple of lines. Like so. And there you go. One crystal sword that would be perfect for being used with some Lumineth Realm Wards. So I hope that's really helpful. I hope you like it. There's going to be a couple more of these type of sword blade demonstrations, tutorials, as well as one that will be coming with just contrast paints, which I hope you'll find interesting. So thanks very much for watching, and again, please subscribe. We're very close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, and ring that bell, and you can follow me over on Facebook at 8 Point Star Painting, and you can follow me over on Instagram at 8 Point Star Painting. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.